The tremendous Dave White is here with me to talk about Sisu, truly a movie that is so up his alley that there is no one else on this planet, not even his husband, my darling Alonso, that I'd want to talk about Sisu with. Whoa. If you've not subscribed to us yet, we'd really love to have you here. Because, yeah, we're heading into all the big blockbusters, but when some gnarly little weird foreign action movie comes out that's got a ton of buzz about it, we will always talk about it. And that is Sisu. Dave White, tell us about it.
He was a Finnish commando, lost his home and his family in the war. He became a one-man death squad.
This is the new film from Jalmari Helander. He made Rare Exports, that freaky Finnish Santa Claus movie from a few years back. This is his new one. It stars Jorma Tommila as a gold miner. Well, miner is the wrong word. He's like panning for gold in the swamp of Finland. And it's World War II. Just as things are about to wind down, the Nazis are in retreat. However, they are enacting some scorched earth along the way, killing everyone they can find and destroying everything in their path until they get to our miner, who kills a bunch of Nazis. And then he kills more Nazis, and then he kills some more Nazis, and then he kills the rest of the Nazis. The end.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's called High Concept, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I had heard it described as John Wick, but with Nazis.
Yeah.
And it's that, in a lot of ways, in that he's sort of this mythological, supernatural figure, known, renowned far and wide for killing hundreds of Russians.
Yeah.
And you see him take on a lot of the brunt of that, but he just keeps going and he kills them in gnarly ways. And I was endlessly impressed and delighted by just the very imaginative ways in which he kills people. Like, there's all kinds of stuff with landmines. Do you know how many uses of landmines there are? Way
several.
More than just planting them in the ground.
you can use them as frisbees, it turns out.
It's a coaster.
Yeah.
It's a pot holder. It's so many things. So this was a lot of fun in that way. I watched it by myself in the middle of the day and was just clapping and cackling.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun to watch Nazis be murdered. I mean, that's what Inglourious Basterds was about. That's what, that's the appeal of a film like Paul Verhoeven's Black Book, or what's the one, Defiance. Did you ever see that? Liev Schreiber and Daniel Craig leading a bunch of Jewish people in the woods to battle Nazis.
Right, they're in the forest in the snow. That's a very understated
in
movie.
The forest in the winter, and they're out there just slaughtering Nazis.
Yeah.
So that is fully entertaining. What this film kind of glosses over is the history of Finland's involvement in World War II, because initially they were allied with the Germans because they didn't want to be taken over by Russia. And then by the end of the war, they had switched sides and they were fighting everybody, trying to keep themselves like this little country fighting these two big countries. And so this character has lost everything, and that's where the title comes in, because it's a Finnish word, and it translates into something like, you've got nothing left to lose, and you are not going to stop fighting, and you are not going to give up. Now, a regular human would not stop fighting and would not give up and would die, because the things that are happening in this film catapult us out of the realm of plausibility, reality. He survives physically crushing situations. And I apologize in advance. We can't talk about this without talking about some spoilers. They try to kill him in so many ways that would obliterate a normal human being. And somehow, inexplicably, he survives. So he's like John Wick. He's like Jason Voorhees. He's like Michael Myers. He's like any slasher movie killer that cannot be killed. And he has attained mythological status among the people of Finland. There's a group of women who have been kidnapped by the Nazis for purposes I do not want to discuss. And
you can guess.
Yeah. And they talk about him as, oh, you've encountered this guy? Well, prepare to die.
I love that scene so much. The actress says in the most understated, deadpan way, like she just lays it all out.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah. So yes, you're right. This is a lot of fun. It's heavily stylized. It's got a very, we just mentioned Inglourious Bastards. It has a grindhouse aesthetic to it. But obviously, there's no getting around that, and it deeply leans into that style. So it's a film that involves relentless violence, graphic, relentless point of contact, slaughter, one man against a literal army. RRR comes to mind as well in terms of like, can one guy just kick everyone's face in? Sure, he can. That's what you get for 90 short, bloody, gory, splattery minutes. It's fun because it is so divorced from the plausible, right? I think it lends itself to an ideology that is really prevalent now in the culture. It's always been prevalent in films. One man must fight alone, you know. But we have a popular culture now, particularly in the United States, and I can't speak for Finland, where, you know, the good guy with the gun is going to save the day, and that's not going to happen. You know, you know what it is? It's Mark Wahlberg talking about how if he had been on the plane, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry,
artful than that.
you're not this mythological creature who's unkillable. You're killable. So if I have any sort of like about this movie, it's that tone. You know, like, you can't stop me because I'm a man. You know, that's, in real life, it's quite annoying. In film, it's you know, really entertaining when Nazis are the ones on the wrong end of the stick.
Right. So here's why I was okay with that, for a couple of reasons. The beginning of this lays out very efficiently and pretty much totally wordlessly who this guy is, how he operates in the world before it gets super bloody. This is just him and his dog. This is also how it's like John Wick, because he's got his dog who's very important to him.
Yeah.
And just, you see the perseverance and you see the way he reacts to things. And it's so immediate and so human and so recognizable that we're on board with him immediately. And so when things get crazy, we're already on his side. And then you know what it is that has happened to him that has put him on this solitary path. And that makes him very sympathetic, I think. And then you also see the toll it takes on him. I mean, it's not like he just gets back up again. This is not, you know, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Like, he's beaten up, and you see
kind of is.
I mean, yeah, but you see like what he has to do to, like, you know, stitch himself back up, patch himself back up.
Sure,
and keep going
literal
again.
stitches. Yes,
right. It takes a toll on him, you know, cumulatively. But because there is like this larger kind of mythological sphere in which he exists, he gets to keep going. Yeah, so I was okay with all of that. I love just the landscape of this. Like, it's so harsh.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
But beautifully so. And the director really lets you like luxuriate in these moments of quiet. It's not just nonstop bam, 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 death and explosion. It is that. Like, there's a thing where a leg flies across the terrain. I laughed out loud. But like, I feel like he lets us also sit in the quiet of this man's journey. And that's what gives it a little more substance than perhaps just crazy splatter grindhouse.
Yeah. In the end, I am pro any film that is about destroying the fascists, because we are currently in the world right now, globally, in a struggle against this. Authoritarian leaders popping up all over the world, people who are just motivated by greed and power and who will enact all sorts of violence against anyone they want to get their way. Fascism is real right now. It's Ron DeSantis. So, like, this is a 7.
A 7? Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, I'll go higher. I'll say an 8.
Yeah.
It knows what it is, and it gets in and gets out quickly. So,
yeah, it does.
Sisu's in theaters. Go check it out. And
it's in English.
Squirm. It is in English. That's true.
Yeah.
I figured it would be in like subtitled Finnish and German.
You tricked me, Christy. You said, "Oh, Dave, it's a movie from Finland." I'm like, "Yeah,
bring on the subtitles.
Time to read."